The Minnesota Vikings have needs at multiple positions, right? But the one position we haven't talked about yet is the interior defensive line. Okay. We have Harrison Phillips. He's been fantastic for the Minnesota Vikings, and I believe he has another 2 years left on his current contract. But we've been trying to search for a number two, or at least a guy to pair with Harrison Phillips instead of, just cycling in a couple, second and third stringers alongside Harrison Phillips. Now, no knock on the other guys, and Jalen Redmond performed exceptionally well as like for the team this year. But we're looking for a perennial all star. Okay, we're looking for a superstar. Now, it's hard to find in this league, but when you have the chance to find one or to land one, maybe you have to make a call. Maybe you have to make things happen. And today, when I was scrolling through some social media and some news outlets and stuff like that, I came across a wild theory. Basically a wild rumor. We'll put it that way, okay? That maybe the Vikings trade for a superstar interior defensive lineman. Take that how you will. I think this guy is fantastic. I think it would be awesome if the Vikings found a way to land this guy. But let's get right into it. What are the Vikings' thoughts for the interior defensive line? And what is this rumor all about? So first and foremost, shout out to our affiliate partners at Green Gridiron. If you want one of these mini helmets, feel free to hit that link that's pinned in the comment section. It's also in the description, and use promo code MINSYN, MINSYN, at checkout to receive a small discount on your purchase. They have NFL helmets, college helmets, fully customizable ones, and they also have helmets you can wear on a football field. Green Gridiron is the place for you if you're looking for maybe a gift for someone, maybe something for you, put around the house because you want to show your fandom and stuff like that. Green Gridiron is the place you need to check out. Hit that link in the comment section or in the description and use the promo code MINSYN, MINSYN, at checkout to receive a small discount on your purchase. And real quick, if they already have a current deal going on, you can stack that promo code to receive even more off of your final purchase. So, what's this interior defensive line rumor we're talking about? Well, maybe it involves the Indianapolis Colts and superstar defensive lineman, DeForest Buckner. So the Minnesota Vikings are approaching a busy offseason, especially on the defensive side of the football. The Vikings will enter the new league year with major decisions to make at cornerback, safety, and the interior defensive line. While Minnesota locked up nose tackle Harrison Phillips with a 2-year extension back in September, the need to pair him with a bona fide interior pass rusher should be high on GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah's to-do list. The Bleacher Report scouting department recently broke down potential trade assets, targets, and packages for all 32 teams. The Bleacher Report staff proposed a blockbuster between the Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts that would send superstar defensive tackle DeForest Buckner to Minnesota for a swap of draft picks. Here was the full hypothetical trade package. They said, hypothetical trade, we'd love to see 2025 third-round pick, 2025 fifth-round pick for defensive lineman DeForest Buckner, and a 2025 fifth-round pick and 2025 sixth-round pick. They said the Vikings took a big step in scoring defense this season. They finished fifth with Flores conducting a defense that had the highest blitz rate in the league. With a little bit more talent up front, they could be the best defense in the league. That's the kind of ceiling they would have by adding a player like DeForest Buckner into the mix. For all the success the Vikings had, they don't have a dominant interior defender. With Jonathan Bullard and Jerry Tillery set to hit free agency, they will have to find answers for who will play on the inside. Buckner is 30 years old, but he's still a handful for teams to block. He had 6.5 sacks and 8 tackles for a loss in 12 games played with the Colts this season. So there's no arguing, the need for Minnesota here as the undrafted Jalen Redmond started eating into Jerry Tillery's reps by midseason. The Vikings are so loaded at edge rusher that number 17 overall pick Dallas Turner barely played in 2024. Adding an imposing force on the interior would be a game changer for the entire defense going forward. Now, DeForest Buckner sounds like a great target in a vacuum. He's a big name with a long track record of success dating back to his time with the San Francisco 49ers, who selected him number 7th overall in 2016. What's a bit concerning here, though, is not only his age and contract situation, but the Vikings' draft capital in general. With just 4 projected selections in the 2025 draft, the fewest amount of any NFL team, the Vikings aren't in a place to be trading more picks unless they're moving back to acquire assets. In this hypothetical, Minnesota would be left with DeForest Buckner entering his age 31 season and picks number 24 in the first round, 140 in the fifth, 152 in the fifth, and 191 in the sixth. This trade might make sense on paper using the value chart, but a 116 pick gap spanning the entire second day of the draft would be absolutely brutal. Now, DeForest Buckner has cap hits of $26.6 million in each of the next 2 seasons, coming off a year where he played a career low 12 games. The math just doesn't add up here for the Vikings, who could either target a rising star like Philadelphia's Milton Williams in free agency or look to tackle this need with the limited draft capital they do have. So I will start off by saying this will not happen. It's fun to bring it up. I seen it and I was like, whoa, okay. But there's no way the Indianapolis Colts are going to take what Bleacher Report's scouting department put forward, right? Look, they said that Minnesota would have to trade a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. In return, we get DeForest Buckner, a 5th and a 6th. Doesn't make any sense. Absolutely. Unless the Colts are absolutely certain DeForest Buckner is at the end of his career, which he's pretty darn close. Only played 12 games this season, so he has a little injury history. But he's still productive. He's still a very good pass rusher. And Minnesota could look to add one of those. We have to add an interior defensive lineman, whether it's through free agency or the draft. But I just don't see this move making any sense for Minnesota because we have that limited draft capital. We can't give away these assets. The only thing I could see Minnesota doing with any of their draft picks is trading that 1st-round draft pick for multiple day 2 draft picks. That's what it would. That's the only way I see Minnesota moving on from draft picks, unless the front office sees otherwise. I don't see them making a splash move. We have a perfect roster. I mean, it's decent enough, right? We have the pieces to work with. All we have to do is plug and place. We have 4 draft picks. Okay, use them wisely. There's a whole bunch of people in free agency that are willing to look at maybe playing for the Minnesota Vikings. We need a corner. We need to bring back Cam Bynum at safety. We need an interior defensive lineman, a running back, and potentially an offensive guard. That's all we need. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely is. Okay, but free agency can plug up, or take care of a couple of those positions, and we could use the draft to maybe take a running back or, maybe a promising defensive lineman or maybe a promising corner or something like that. But the Minnesota Vikings have some decisions to make. This trade, I don't see happening, but you never know. We've seen wilder things in the National Football League. You guys let me know your thoughts about Minnesota potentially trading for DeForest Buckner. Also, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. And real quick, if you want one of these backlit LED Minnesota Viking 3D logos, the link for that is in the description at Whitebeard Signs, and use promo code VS30 for $30 off your purchase. Have a great rest of your night, folks, and Skull Vikes.